So one line if I want to define, they don't want to just be hired. They want to be heard.
One thing I've seen over the last few years in my campus also is people are a lot more clear about what they want, honest about what they want.
We were like, we just need a job, so we are ready to cut the corners. But they know that we have the options, we have the skills, so they don't have to cut the corners.
Some of the Gen Zs are so smart, they may be able to kind of upgrade themselves on job kind of a training or skills required even before they could actually join in.
Only the CTC and the position will not actually hold them back, only when they are made responsible for it. So they take that ownership and that will help them to retain. Okay, they feel, okay, I am responsible for it.
But now Gen Zs, what they want? They don't want only the job. Your 9 to 6 job they don't want. What they want the little bit fun, little bit their passion, and they want to hear everybody.
Hello and welcome to RoundTable Central, hosted by Brand Story Digital. I'm Sudipta Gupta and I'm delighted to be here to moderate a discussion on something that we all read about and talk about all the time, which is the whole Gen Z and the employer branding and how do we work with Gen Z. So that's what we're going to be talking about. I'll just go around a quick round of talking about the panel here and each of you can introduce yourself and then I will introduce myself. So we have Miiliind Aiedasani from Swadharma, which is doing a lot of work with AI recruitment and building of platforms.
Right.
We have Bhanupriya K, who's from the MD of Perceptives India, and she's really passionate about technology and people. So we'll hear, her story about that. Anil Kumar from Quess, who is, on the talent. He's looking after the whole talent acquisition and the talent piece. And Girish, who specializes with the COE hiring part from Quess again. So great to have you all, and maybe we can just go around a round of introduction. Maybe we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Bhanupriya Krishna. So born and brought up in Bangalore. Did my schooling, everything in Bangalore, and very passionate on the connecting people. So that's where I got into recruitment pretty early in my career. Worked with a couple of product-based and service-based companies. To name a few, that's GSK, that was my last organization, and also with Eneo Technologies, that's where I got the career gap. So yeah, went ahead and it was more of women empowerment was my motto, and that's where Perceptive Solutions got into picture. It's been 2 years, so I'm running Perceptive Solutions with very passionate young Gen Z kids. So, and we are doing pretty well. Reason behind is a lot of discussions gets into the table, and we are majorly focusing on hiring and semiconductor training. So working with good amount of top-notch companies. So that's a small approach.
Thank you. Kumar?
Hi, my name is Miiliind and I am actually the co-founder of Swadharma India Corporation. So we are basically AI recruitment career technology company, in fact. So the reason why I used recruitment and career is just because we are trying to integrate all the elements of the recruitment and career, both the candidate side and the the hiring employer side. Just to use more of technology and reduce the efforts in the back end of recruitment as such. So I come with almost 2 years, 2 decades of recruitment experience purely into consulting. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies like Manpower, and I worked with Akara, which is a New York-based company, in fact, and I was heading a small boutique firm, which is into non-IT as such. So, look forward for this conversation. Back. Thank you.
Anil?
My name is Anil, and I am a TA professional, last from 18, 19 years, and I love to be called as a recruiter. Okay, I'm hands-on recruiting, and why recruitment? Because I believe is there is one of my CEO has told me once a time that if you hiring 5 people in a
in a 5 days. Directly, indirectly, you helping to the 15 people in their family. So you are not just a recruiter, you're serving to the society. So that's the click, and I believe when I am in a year 2000, 3000 offer, I'm rolling out from my desk, I feel very satisfied when I go to enroll the offers. So that's I am a part of that. I am a certified yoga teacher, and I take the session for motivational and spiritual, and more towards the I am connecting the dots how to corporate and spirituality. So that's how about me.
Great. Girish?
Thank you. So my name is Girish, and I have over 12 years of experience into taking care of the delivery for different technologies. So start up my career, I always wanted to be into a technical field, but I never got an opportunity. But later on, God gave me an opportunity to be to the delivery of recruitment, where I'm able to connect with a lot of people, understand the technology in a new way, and able to deliver nicely with the first E10, which is Center of Excellence. Yeah, that's all about me.
Thank you. So I'll just give you all a brief intro about myself. I have about over 2 decades in HR. I started with recruitment, and I've had a industry journey of starting with IT, the whole captive RD center development with an organization now called Lumen, but earlier called CenturyLink and Quess, and then with SunQuest/Mysis, and then a whole stint with the whole PR industry with the practice. And then my last role was with Hive Minds, which is a digital marketing firm. So I have pretty much handled end-to-end HR. The early years were more operations and performance, but the last 7, 8 years or 10 years, my skills have been largely in OD initiatives, leadership building, succession, mental health advocacy, DEI, and actually working with leadership to keep organizations relevant and actually build strategy. So I'm currently, exploring certain new things and doing some freelancing and stuff. And personally, I am quite passionate about volunteering and being associated with causes that I care about, whether it's teaching underprivileged children or working with senior citizens to help them get re-employed. So that's a little about me, and I think we've had all the introductions. So let me throw out the first question or thing that comes to my head, and maybe we'll start with you, Anil. You have been rolling out so many offers, and then we can maybe go around. What do you really think, does Gen Z want? What makes them stay? What do they, what resonates with them, or what would keep them, not keep them? How do you manage them?
So first thing I wanted to say, because I used to go to multiple campuses and deal with that, some of mentorship program which I'm giving to the Gen Zs. So one line if I want to define, they don't want to just be hired. They want to be healed. So that's the basic difference. So I'll just give the background, little bit prospect. I remember when I talk about my Dadaji, okay, grandpa, he used to say, beta, roti or makan or kapda mil jaye. That was the choice that time. But later came the stage where people start, my dad and all, education, respect, and little bit luxury. Then our time came, we need the position, we need the stability in the job, we need the growth path. But now Gen Zs, what they want? They don't want only the job. Your 9 to 6 job, they don't want. What they want the little bit fun, little bit their passion, and they want to hear everybody. They don't want to just follow the whatever you want to your bosses say. They don't want to just follow the instructions. That's how the latest report also came. There is a lots of companies hesitating to hiring the Gen Zs, and there is attrition is high into hiring the Gen Zs. But we need to understand that this is a change in the market, change in the generation. So we have to cope up with the each and every generation setup. So that's how the when I used to go, I try to understand what they want. If you want to all HR PPTs, throw them in front of induction session, might be they feel boring. But what you can do, if you make a nice story, or if you build up the nice, you can say pitch and crisp. It should not be we will force to them to listen this. So this old time is gone. Now the new times, we have to HR at HR professional and TA professional, we have to make the balance. Okay, our legacy to the companies, our principles, and along with the Gen how they are going to adopt the things. So that's my prospect.
Yeah, I think we're talking about a very serious topic. It's like 30% of the crowd will be Gen Z by 2030. So yeah, they are multitaskers, and they, as Anil added, that they want to be heard. So that's a perspective. They have a creative concepts, creative mind, because they've been using the data, social data, all the time from day one. So they have a lot of good concept. They would like to contribute. So I think that's something I trust.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting times. Just to add to what Mr. Anil said, I think thanks to our forefathers, we have come to a stage where now our priorities are much different, and Gen Zs really enjoy that. And I strongly believe that Gen Zs also are highly motivated by the purpose or the mission of the organization also. So, while there have been extremely passionate people, because now if you're looking at the education itself, it's no more those three streams that, a student had to take. So there is much more diverse education, this one. So they are pretty much clear about, what particular sector, what domain they want to be in a kind of working. And if you are in that space, and if the organization is in that space, and we have the right culture wherein we are able to connect, and gone are those days when where we just look for an opportunity and we give in our resume and took an interview and got on the job. But now is a time when they're looking at the social media, how much of reviews does this organization have, or how is this organization sometimes if people are able to find some connects which we ourselves are not able to find, but they find some connects in your organization, and they might have found out a lot more details about so those are few things. And and I think, as you rightly said, the fun of it, just to add the lighter aspects of the human capital itself, that's what I would say, is becoming more subtle now. It's no more typically you're calling as a human resource. It's going to be a human capital now. You have to be much more invested in your employees as such. Just be heard, just be more sensitive to what their needs could be. One of the most common needs would be their career development as such. How far are we able to, because their needs for a higher CTC may not be the real motivation for for at least 60-70% of the year, this one as such. So are we able to kind of give them a career plan or a career development plan, and that would really greatly motivate and keep the particular person to do very well in the organization. As this has been some of the observations of what we have seen, and it's good news for us, in fact, if it is so, actually, because it makes much easier for even the talent acquisition team to kind of onboard such kind of people as such.
Bhanupriya?
Yeah, thanks for Andy to get that we have to be heard. So that plays a very crucial role with Gen Z, because I'm closely working with them. So I have been on the employee and employer side both, so I get to know the pinch. So the earlier generation, they were majorly looking on CTC, on the position, on the stability. But the current Gen Z, they are majorly looking on the cause. They have to be heard, and there should be a cause, and there has to have an impact. So that's their major motto, and only the CTC and the position will not actually hold them back. Only when they are made responsible for it, just like it might be a small introduction of a company, or there might be a onboarding process when they are made as a brand ambassador for that. So they take that ownership, and that will help them to retain. Okay, they feel okay, I am responsible for it, and that will make them to pull back and stay back. It's more of giving that response pay. So we talk about Gen Z are not responsible, and they have patient has to have pays, and most companies don't want to pay that. So if you really look into the core of the problem, it is you have to be heard, and they are more of vulnerable, and we like someone to really more of that pampering kind of things. So that's the fact which we have to accept, and we have to adapt to.
Yeah. So I want to add on Bhanupriya point. There is a live
Okay, and then I'll pick up a couple pointers from what he said. Yes.
a live case I am talking about. 1.5 years back. So in the Quess Corp, we having the that culture. The chairman, our always appreciate to hire the more and more MTs,
Okay.
regimentries.
Yes.
So few colleges approach us for the interns. So 2 interns I pitch. They are working under me. And we used to call this one annual event called Sangam, where this cultural fest kind of thing. So I was coordinating. Some of my colleagues said, hey, I need the choreographer. I'm not getting the for fashion show. So I was sitting, I called that girl, the interns. I said, I need the few choreographer, which they need the, I told just purpose. And I told her very, very good way. Hey, this is what I wanted outcome. Can you believe this is the first time experience I having? End of the day she came. She made the nice Excel. I asked one. She has given a 5 set of examples. She has given their portfolio link. She has given me their videos and where are the shows they have done. What are the first cut they are asking the price. What she has negotiated for second phase and what she feel that they had chances to negotiate more. So it took me just 10 minutes to make a decision in terms of the whole episode, which my colleague has asked, I'm not finding out. So what I'm trying to say, how do you utilize, how you to capitalize those things? And you have to read the pulse. If we read the pulse correctly, I'm sure that they will rock like anything. First, and we should be careful. We should not hurt their egos. We had to pamper them, which words he has used. We have to pamper.
Yeah. So
Then let's work will be flow like anything.
okay, very interesting. So I think you spoke about, I'd like to pick up the social media piece on, how they look at the culture. But I'll just sum up on my take. And, I wrote about it in one of my LinkedIn posts some time back because I've been very closely associated with academia. I think the students today passing out of any institute or any course technically have their skills bang on. They're much more prepared. It is the softer skills of being able to take feedback, patience, just being a little more organized is what they need.
True.
So I agree with you that if you just tell them, if you give them a clear brief, they're able to do these things. But managing them in terms of their career, because just my take on this whole thing is, it is, yes, compared to a few generations back, I used to hire a lot of IITians and people from engineering, and they would be probably from tier 2 cities and their fathers would be so proud that they're in Bangalore and in tech MNC and stuff. But today, I think that stability or, that brand name is where they're challenged, where they're heard, where they are able to fulfill some bit of what they want to do.
Correct.
Right? So I think interesting. Maybe we'll start with you. What do you think about, storytelling? Because we're talking from a branding angle, right? So we've touched on the crux of what is core to Gen Zs. Now, if we talk about the employer branding angle, which all of us in some form, what would you think about what storytelling format works for them, or how do we,
Storytelling for every generation, it plays a very pivotal role. Just like our ancestors told us story, is how their life was, and this is what they aspire to be, and this is what they want us to look, and that is what from our childhood we started adopting. So it's the same case with Gen Z also. So for them, storytelling has to be more of real time, more of short, crisp and clear. That's where all this shots and LinkedIn certain posts gets into picture. Why LinkedIn has got so much of content right now? Because Gen Zs are very active there, and even the reels. Look at the amount of content we actually captured, because of the kind of creative thing they are getting into picture. And the entire Mahabharata or Ramayana can be described to Gen Z in 30 seconds. Just, okay, this is what Mahabharata contains. 10 seconds with 10 shots, you're done there. So for them, it is more of crisp and clear. And after that, they want to get into detail. So for them, it's about getting that attention. So storytelling gets into picture there for any company branding, which is very much crucial and important. That has to be in the real time for them. If I say, okay, Perceptives stands for this, I have to give them that feel. Yes, this is what they actually stand for, and this is what I can experience. And for them, that has to be communicated to a virtual mode of reels or shorts, and where they are also involved, and they bring up with their stories. And the seniors come with their stories, and that's where you bridge that gap. And that's where it takes a crucial role. That's
Okay, I think our next point will be on how do we manage the multiple forces. But Miiliind?
Yeah, so in fact, just to add to the previous point of what Bhanu was saying, the ambassadors as such. Now, why is ambassadors very important is because apart from employer branding, employee branding is also important. So that's where you create ambassadors. Now these ambassadors are experienced. They're sharing a very small experience of working in that particular culture, how long they've been there, why have they been there, what have they really achieved. Now that connect is much more faster for the Gen Zs to look at, okay, this is how it is. So to add to the other aspect of, the social media and that. So more than me putting in a textual content, right, saying that this is what we are, and than before, wherein we used to say that these are the revenues of the organization, so many people are working and all that. But a simple, testimonial from an employee itself makes a huge impact for them to consider an opportunity. And this has to be very authentic, of course. Somebody who has been, of course, really working, because now times have also come, the digital space has become, we don't know how much is genuine also. So as long as the organizations are able to put in that content also, that makes a huge, and the content has to be, as she also said, putting in a lot more crisp information on the website or the job board, where they're putting the, so these are a couple of aspects is what I believe, in fact.
So we call this is the social media era, okay, and it can be built, it can be break. So there is a latest, I don't want to quote any company name, but I think you can quote, you can relate that. There is one sentence, what is the share price of the few companies gone drop like anything. So what I'm trying to, when we talk about the employer branding aspect, there is no more you give the big slide PPT or presentations. Now they want to feel it.
Yes.
If they feel it, so I'll do the again one case study here. So what happened? There is one interview I was taking, so-called Gen Zs. Okay, I asked, what do you know about the culture of this company, particular company? She's given the best answer, which I impressed like anything. She said, sir, outside standing in the building, I can talk about the infra. I can't talk about the interior until I will enter into the building. So same way, that company we who talking about the culture, I cannot explain you the culture until I will be in this part of the system and talk about the culture. So really that's mean that until you feel it. Now they wanted to feel it. No more you have put up the all pointers and go, this is what we are, great place to work, this is what we have done. No more.
No, but I've also seen people in interviews, basis the experience they have, they decide to choose to join or not join. If they don't feel that why, what is they don't take.
And be a PA person, now we generally used to tell, if anybody want to walk out after the presentation, after we talk about our company, please feel free to walk out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think they are not shy to say no.
Yeah.
They are a lot chicks.
Yeah.
And I think coming back to the question you asked, I think we can see this pinch already. The lot of industry have picked. If you see the ads, normal ads on TV, previously we used to be happy with the melodies. Like normal, melodies are going and we are happy, we are going attracted towards that product. Now, if they want to sell a product on the advertisement, they put the emotions in it. Like Amul put the emotions in it, and then people get attracted. The Gen Zs get attracted. So even Bollywood movie, people are not watching nowadays the fast cars and all. They want a concept. They want emotion.
Content story.
So our industry, picture industry, our advertisement industry, they are slowly understanding this. Why I'm giving this example is because it's very globally visible. Every day we see these things. I think the same formula, slowly and gradually, we have to apply into the employment. If we have to, connect with them, we have to not sell other product or cover company. We have to sell the emotions behind it. That why we are doing it. What impact if they support us, if they join us, what impact we will create on the world. So that is the right way, I think.
I think Gen Zs are, looking for authenticity. They don't want to be, I mean, they just want it real time. They know they can do it. Yeah, it's become very direct. And I think even, and one thing I've seen over the last few years in my campus also is people are a lot more clear about what they want, honest about what they want.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
They're vocal about it.
Yes.
We never got that freedom. Like, suppose if initially we used
We wanted the job, yeah.
yeah, we were like, we just need a job. We are ready to cut the corners. But they know that we have the options, we have the skills, so they don't have to cut the corners. They are like, if I need this, this is my expectation. I cannot compromise now. This is basic. So they're very clear about it.
And simple way, if you feel, say, for example, you take it the cricket. Okay, cricket you take it. Earlier, what happened? You had the state level selection or India level selection. Now we have the IPL.
IPL.
So those guys, I
this
think if you
multiply.
say recently, I think 16-year boy.
Yeah.
He hit the like anything.
Opportunities are so many.
In the, you can say, those are doing the acting or those are doing theatre. Earlier on platform only Bollywood or Tollywood or whatever it may be. Now they have the YouTube channel. They can, if they have skills, now they're making lots of production, how they're making the reels and all in their acting I'm talking about.
So the
And
expansion of
Web
opportunities.
series are there.
Yes, so
They having lots of opportunity. If not here, I will grab it here.
That's even they have a luxury to say.
yes. Okay, now let's, I just like to come to one important thing which I feel when we are, the Gen Zs have their unique way of looking at things. We're all trying to, most organizations, we're trying to be relevant. We're trying to attract that. But at the same time, we have the, the millennials or Gen X, etc., who have contributed, who are, very strong in every organization, most organizations. And, how do we blend it? How do you kind of work? Because I think, Gen Z is like little more of that freedom and flexibility. The others like some structure. So it's a, thing. So maybe, Anil, may start with you.
It's like simple prospect, how we deal with our grandpa, how we have dealt with our father,
Multi-generational.
we deal with our next generation. So I'll give the best example.
My
I deal with my father. He having the extreme, you can say, different personality. He was a government employee. Then my brother, he's a lawyer. And my brother's son and all, which Gen Zs, they're having a different prospect. Like, so all the balance, it's come to me. Generally come to my desk. Okay, in family matters also, it's come my desk. Hey, he is not listening, can you talk? And he said, no, dad is not listening, can you talk? So why I'm able to manage it? Because day in, day out, I'm dealing in the corporate office, multiple. I deal with my bosses also. I deal with the Gen Zs also. I deal with my equivalent colleague also. So same way, the way you handling in that home, same way you have to manage into here. Because I'll tell you, the most of organization, what happening, the company say, the policies, this time to this time, the job person have to come and finish their job. What Gen Z is study, you want to be a time bound or task bound.
No result, yeah, absolutely.
Or result.
Absolutely.
And that's a sometime prospect is very clear. If example, we are in recruitment industry, if I wanted to, you can say the 4 or 5 CV submission done. Somebody is smartly doing them in 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm not talking about we have to ask, okay, 2 hours work and go. But what I'm trying to say, how to make it balance it. It's our job because our bosses or their generation different, our is different and Gen Zs are there. So it's all about the art, how to balance it. Make them pamper, okay, you take the heat from your bosses, balance it there and then slowly little bit push there. If you throw all the heat there, it will be gone case. Yeah.
I agree with your point. So we just discussed about how they are, how to gel up with them. And the other question I can talk about, what is the future? Like, how can we see the future with them? Like, they don't want to work for the long years in their life, because I saw that at the very early stage, they are doing something additionally with their jobs. Like, they are fan of startups. So, of course, they're getting into startups. They are building some YouTube channels. So, of course, they don't have the long plans for employment. So how do you guys see the future about it? How the corporate world will look like?
Okay, I'll give it a think. See, I've also begun to realize that careers are, compressing. I think earlier the roles people would play at 15, 20 years, somebody at a 7, 8 years is playing that role. I think people's visibility of I will be in the corporate or I will work till a certain age, as you said, is really changing. I think, it is clear that for some years I will work, get experience, and then I'll be, on my own. I think that is something we've seen in the last few years. I think, in my opinion, I think this will pretty much impact the kind of retention strategies, because with Gen Zs, we know what retention strategies worked earlier or the long term. That time, I mean, none of us are able to look at that time frame. I think it will severely impact retention and the whole performance and career planning, because I think the milestones or the growth that we want to give them because they need to stay or they would want, I think it would really impact it because the time horizon we're looking for is different. That's just my first take on it, but I think would just like to.
Yeah, definitely, yes. I think what you said is also right. And, one aspect is looking at gratification part of it to make sure that we are able to kind of I think they are becoming very clear in terms of monetary also, that how can I be the faster millionaire or a billionaire as such. But also, what Bhanu is doing to an extent, and the previous question what you asked about, the soft skills part of it. How are because some of the Gen Zs are so smart, they may be able to kind of upgrade themselves on job kind of a training or skills required even before they could actually join in. Now the issue what comes in is for them to probably gel well and work well with even little seniors, and also kind of know how they could kind of be able to kind of perform better as such. So that's where I feel that seniors who are there in the organization not only are by hierarchy, but they have to be mentors, as he rightly said, so that they are able to kind of connect and look up to these the elders as such, the senior folks in the organization. And I feel that there are some new kind of domains which are coming in, so there would be a certain dependency for center of excellence like you have and you have, because that's the word now, center of excellence, because now it's not about knowing about the domain itself. How are we able to kind of have excellence in careers, and Gen Zs should be able to kind of connect to that and make the career. That's what my take is. Also,
Just adding, I think reverse mentoring might be something.
yeah, correct. Finishing schools, I think now are going to play a very critical role, and what she's doing is also in the similar lines. Those finishing schools, because the final semester now is becoming a lot more absolute in terms of it is just the 1 month actual engagement, and the rest of the 4 months, 5 months really goes off them. There, if the organization is able to spend in time, either at the campus, that's my small, in fact, we did think about this idea for a long time as such, but it'll take a little while for this real finishing school to come into practice. Because once the soft skills and because the corporates are also spending a lot of money in training these freshers in the soft skills also. These are basics, but they have the hard skills in many ways. So I feel that the finishing schools are going to be very, very critical, and thanks to the government looking at NEP, National Education Program Policy, what they have, they're trying to bring in internship at a much earlier grades. And exposing to so I think all the startups and SMEs are also going to, while they're going to get a lot of interns, I think that's going to be very good exposure for people, in fact. And the same lines, what we are doing as Swadharma, right? What we are trying to do is conduct a certain psychometric on them, so that the employer is able to make the right decision in making the right hire also. So what happens is, typically in our standard, we only do a psychometric at a mid and a senior level as such, and call it as 16 Ps, personality types, or MBTI and all that. But now I think time has come wherein the mystery of whether the candidate is good for us or not, because we are all in the interest of making the first offer and onboarding, but we are not very sure of the future of the candidate. So that's where I think we have to have this particular perspective at a much early stage of their careers, and give them this one saying that, yeah, this is how your personality suits. because the people who are more passionate, that's going to be the next generation as such. It's not going to be simply having skills. It's going to be more about how much of passion they have in that particular domain or industry.
Yeah, so for Gen Zs, there are, one way is how you are able to communicate to them and make them understand. So it's all about, you have to make them feel and realize it. Okay, you are getting into a system and this system has got this pros and this cons. So how you are going to enable yourself for the future. Current movement, okay, getting into reels, shorts and getting into the small creative things is fair enough, good. But on the long run, as Girish wisely asked, what is that on the long term? How is that you're going to see if you're not having the stability there? So on the long run, if you're going to give them a visualization, okay, this is how it is going to be there, this is how you can actually enhance yourself. You have an expertise here and this is where you can upskill yourself and then move forward. Finishing school place is going to play a very crucial role, as center of excellence and semiconductor right now, it's a very hot cake. So wherever the next future is going, so even if you are able to put in an effort there, that's going to help them only in the long run. And bridging the gap has to be done from the previous generation. So in certain communication way where they can actually understand. It's even in the office or the corporate level where you can add on the flexi days. So that is going to give them a comfort zone. And then, get into the upskilling, soft skilling part. So there are many minute things which you can actually add them for the long run. See?
So yeah, so here for my point of view, there is a two prospect which I can see. One, I feel the last from couple of years, that's a trend getting changed. Most of the person earlier, they feel after finishing the schooling colleges, I'll do the job. Okay. Now the good part which I can see the trend, that's a good also, that people are becoming the mindset self-employment as well as the providing employer. Okay. So there is a lot some startups coming which is not typical jobs earlier. If you see gig employment, gig economy, then you can say the this one nowadays 10-minute deliveries and all. So what happened, there's a lots of Gen Zs, they come up the new ideas. I think yesterday one of articles I was seeing the Canva or some other company talking about. That girl is very youngest CEO who has built up the complete, you can say the model. Okay. Now if you having the talent, it's not you do only the job. You can do anything miracle if you want it. And same thing in the corporate world, if you wanted to, you can say make the balance. So it's up to you. You have to make them view the ownership. You make them realize that, okay, this is what and this want to achieve. Make them in the part of that success journey. You cannot just simply order and you feel that person will be delivered. No more that trend will be go on. You absolutely the time you make them involved. Second thing that companies can do, which I think we started doing the practicing. If example, somebody hardcore finance guy, but he having the skills, you can say the posts or you can say the social media, how you use their activity in your company growth, that make the different committees, different groups, how you utilize their potential or passion in terms of if you have the multi-talented person in your company, why not you utilize that?
Absolutely.
Instead of you simply asking them to a day 9 to 6 job, they will do. They will give the potential, they will utilize their potential to your company growth. So that's my prospect.
Yeah, I'd like to share a couple of interesting things on some of the King Development spoke. So coming to campus, I was on the interview panel of the admission process of one of the B schools in Bangalore. And what I found very unique is, I think, when we used to go, or even a few years back, you just wanted to answer, get the job. There was a candidate who was very clear of what he or she wanted, was doing some work on the social media influencer side and said that, I want to do this on my own. I need the skills, so this course will help me with that. So that's a big mindset change. So that stayed with me. And coming to this committees, my previous organization, Hive Minds, really utilized that. I think they were, allowing people to have that passion beyond college, because we always felt, all these clubs ended there. So whether it is biking or trekking or reading or fitness, and these somewhere when I think the inclusivity of making Gen Zs or people with a few years experience feel part of the larger picture rather than just being told this is your role, you have to deliver to this, is I think the language every person has to speak, be it the leaders, be it the manager, be it the HR. So I think these are some of the things. Anything else you want to talk?
Yeah, I basically, even we experienced that even a bigger clients are accepting this approach. One of my telecom client, so we introduced this COE concept, which is Center of Excellence. So what we tackle is take one skill, we hire the specialized Gen Zs over there. They make sure that they are coming from that particular background and they are only targeting that skill to get hired. So even the big firms, now they are addicted to the COE concept. Now they just want that we want to work with COE because we are not getting this result from the tier 1, tier 2 vendors also. So we are delicatedly focused to even we are ready to pay extra. So the moment we got this concept of specialization, and actually this concept came from this mentality only, ki we will do one specialized thing at a time, Gen Z's concept. So when we put this concept in the corporate world and we showed them the model, client liked it and they are ready to come back to us every time, every month. They are giving us more business to take care of. So I think if the way you said, rather than putting them our way, if we understand their way and we utilize it in the right way,
It's a win-win.
it's a win-win situation for corporate as well as for and the other thing I recently experienced, I was out for a couple of days, so I was getting escalations on something. When I was just trying to deal with that escalation alone, it was getting very difficult to explain the Gen Zs and then get the work done and deliver it. I kept him in CC. I told him this is what is happening. This is what you have to do. The rest, if something comes, it's our responsibility. So I tried to give some responsibility on his head and he was able to deliver it very nicely because he understood the entire concept. So I think if we have to put them in a long run, we have to tell them that whole story. You cannot just share one part of a story and tell them to work as we are telling you. You have to tell them the entire story. If you do this, this will be the outcome. If you don't do this, we will get this escalation. So when they know the entire story, they are able to deliver it better.
Shared ownership.
Yeah.
And I think transparency, shared ownership. Yeah, I think anything else from anybody? I'd like to touch upon maybe certain things on performance or rewards that any of you have done, specifically keeping, branding for Gen Z in mind, and if that's worked, maybe we can touch upon that as we, move ahead in this discussion.
Yeah, so one part, what I really felt, the aspect of performance excellence as such, it's typical that everybody, in every organization, we have the typical office politics and, certain favoritism as such. Though a very wrong topic though, but there are some real performers who actually go out of the way to perform well as such. So if we are able to kind of, recognize those people, and as he started in the beginning that, the CTC is not a very important element. So what are the different elements which could, help, first of all, for them to perform better, right? And also to, kind of be retained in the same organization with a very, as he said, give a larger picture. Because, it's just like this, when maybe one of the biggest architects, maybe building is being built, a laborer doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just, kind of doing, bringing the bricks or all that. But, his role of building such a large architecture
How
building
significant is that?
is what has to be translated very well. And I think we Indians are, slowly getting into that presentation and articulation mode where we are able to kind of connect well. And I think that's more important. The connecting with them to give them the larger picture of the entire this one, on how much are they contributing to it. That's very important aspect. Facet. Yeah.
What I see in Gen Zs is when it comes to rewards, we earlier used to get into the rewards of tenure. So for them, that is little disturbed. So for them, it's more of, dude, I'm delivering more. I'm creative more. I'm taking all sort of multitasking responsibility. So why is the tenure getting into picture? Why is the seniority getting into picture? So that is something which I've observed. Okay, so
Bang on.
so they will be just so prompt in saying this, for saying no also, and saying, putting across their words, they're very clear, crisp and clear. And that will actually eat us hard when we really sit and think back. Okay, there is something which we have to rectify. Doesn't mean that Gen X and millennials and Gen Z, we just leave it out like that. When we run an organization, we have to ensure that we actually bridge a gap in such a way that they have been heard and their words or statements have been considered. And if there is some fine tuning has to be done, it has to be done. And rewards and recognition has to be considered in that way. And all this performance rewards and recognition cannot be annual or what. It has to be an ongoing process that makes them more motivated and more responsible. So that's the biggest observation which I've come across in recent days, especially the tenure part, which we can eat very.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even seniors have to, it's not by default that people look up to seniors now. They want reasons why you have to respect a senior and how is he better than me or she better than me. And I think even on the feedback part, the trend I see is most performance systems are now continuous on the app or informal feedback that is constantly needed. I think the whole concept of collating everything and having that once a quarter or once a half year is not something resonating too well. But
I'm touch upon this. I want to touch upon this point. So two things which is work very well in our organization. One, we launched the pulse check chatbot. Okay, with some and that's how the some random question will come, and you have
Like
to
the
do
mood.
a smiley. How's your mood? Okay, how's your mood? And it's a trust me, the AI based chatbot is with the real time data. If somebody is not happy with their manager, it's really reflecting that survey. And then, so instead of the HR going to talk about the 10 people, they are going to talk about only 2 people, where they have to really understand, give the sympathy. One. Second thing, there is no more nowadays, people used to go quarterly and half yearly, yearly R&R. No more. Now we have launched in the kudos card, where you done something good today, you take it today. And we started, for our team also, we started doing the, you can say, monthly recognition. The month end closer we have done, we started some small goodies, and you can say on spot. There's no waiting.
There's no waiting time.
After 3
Instant.
months, so it's a creating value right to them. They feel happy when they get the recognition, okay, on spot, and they feel is and as Girish said, when you involve your decision and give the bigger picture, this is what I want to achieve. And this, trust me, I learned last from, you can say, 4 or 5 months. When I talk about my recruiter, simply I just tell, buddy, I wanted to, for this, I'm doing this. I'm not just telling my boss, I wanted to do it this way. No. Yeah, this is the picture which I wanted to put it. Why I'm putting this? Then if they understand, then do the perfectly job done. No need to again do the
absolutely.
monitoring.
Absolutely.
And if not doing, then it will be go here and there.
Anything you want to add?
I think I agree with this point. I was about to touch this point. Like, pictures become shorter and it becomes read. Same way recognition from annual to months, and then it should be a day, and it should be like one thing you just did good. They expect that, yeah, I did this good, so you should tell me about it. So it's become a day. It's like same like a read conversation. Sure. And there's another part of it, like the way they are expecting recognition from us. If suppose something they did wrong, or if there is something gap, they are ready to take the feedback also.
Yes.
I realized this thing very recently. So when we say this to senior people, basically, they are ready to put a wall in between it. Or it takes a lot of time to get into the argument and to explain them this is your part. Now bang on it. But with Gen Zs, if they are genuinely wrong, they'll say, Girish, I know, this is my mistake. I have done this text. I know how to do it. You don't even have to shout and you don't have to argue with them. They know. But when there is no mistake done by them, they will not agree. If you are trying to put in something, they will not accept it. So both the sides, rewards also they need, and if they're doing wrong, it's okay for them to get.
I have a slightly different take on this. Maybe you've mastered the art of giving their feedback, because in general, I have seen Gen Zs feel any client feedback or any feedback is a little too personal and how they deal with it. But anyway, great that you brought this up. I think we're reaching, towards the conclusion of this great conversation, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. But maybe we can just do a quick last round of the closing thoughts each of you have, and maybe what you're taking away from this conversation. Maybe Miiliind, we'll start with you and go round, and maybe I'll just close.
So, in fact, I just missed a couple of points that I was saying that, apart from Gen Z itself as an employee branding, it's important that the organization has updated information on their website. Most of the organizations don't really have, because they might have done a lot of other activities and all that. So one aspect, apart from the Gen Zs itself, is that, the organizations are publishing about their CSR activities also. So there has been certain data, when you're looking at the percentage of, conversion in terms of when organization has an updated information on their website, has CSR activities also put in on their website, the percentage of you converting a candidate in the number of applications that have come in is almost by 2x. And you're able to reduce, you're able to reduce your hiring time. You're able to reduce your time of, the entire engagement, or even to motivate an individual as such. So this is not only for Gen Z, I'm talking about, overall as such. So here in Swadharma, what we have a standard template, and of course, Brand Story also does a lot of digital work as such. So here, it's very important for an organization to be able to kind of put in all their, updated content also, so that, those right points, not just the textual information, makes a lot of impact for decision making. So yeah, that's about.
Okay.
For the branding thing, so has like you mentioned, so it's about not only about putting your events and whatever the awards on the website, it's all about keeping them updated. It's more of digital world now, making short teams for shorts and involving Gen Zs or any other employee for that matter, completely involved in making them a part of branding, your company branding plays a very crucial role. And for Gen Zs, it's about how you make a art, or how to give them a feedback, or how to take an input, how to engage them in the entire cultural activities, or help them be involved in part of building the culture. So that plays a crucial role is on the branding part, and it's about mouth to mouth and digital. So that's what I see. Yeah.
Anil, your take?
So my take is here, if I've realized entire the concept, everything is becoming short. Earlier, age is becoming 100 years. People used to live 100 years. Then it's become a 75. Say now average life is 60 years. Okay. Same way the lifestyle, the working environment is also become like the earlier used to full movies used to come 3 hours ka movie. Then it's come to the web series, half an hour episodes. Now even reel is coming 30 seconds. I don't know what coming next. So, but it's like what message we wanted to convey. Okay, how it should be crisp, appropriate, and what benefit you wanted with the USP. Like used to, if you remember, those are in ad industry. Their toughest challenge is entire story you have to sell into 30 second or 10 second entire the message you want. So here is very much clear. If you want to deal with the Gen Zs, you have to you can say give accountability to them and pass out the message correct way. Don't go make the jalebi there. Okay, you have to be very clear with what you wanted to achieve and involve them in the process or journey. That's my take it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I completely agree over here because in technical aspect, we call a good developer who can write the code in a short lines, in a small codes, and he can deliver the results in a proper manner. And I think in same what we are talking now, we have to code it in a right way, and they can decode it in a right way. the coding should be so right. In one line, if you are giving it, the one line should not be the vague one. The coding should be so right, they can decode it in a nice way, in a right way. So, yeah, if you can just give them a brief essay, they won't be taking it. That means we are not a good developers for them. So you have to be a good leader or developer for them who is developing on HN. So we have to code it right. That's what my take is.
I want to thank this amazing panel for this great discussion, and I'd just like to close by saying that I think, we've just spoken about, what's unique to Gen Zs and, the whole employer branding angle. And I think some of the takeaways for me personally are, I think, everything has now become about, what value can be shown, but in the most interesting, crisp, short way. And how do you kind of, beyond the gloss, you have to be authentic, real, you have to be inclusive, you have to walk the talk, and you have to, have strategies to manage a multi-generational workforce. But I think a very interesting point that you brought up, Girish, is going ahead when it's going to be Gens. I think now we're talking about, how do you handle them and, them probably reaching early or mid management. But in some years, if, they're going to take that role, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the situation evolves. And I'm sure we'll have a lot more forums to discuss this. So I think we'll close the discussion here. Thank you, Anil, Girish, Miiliind, and Bhanupriya for being an amazing panel. I truly enjoyed this discussion. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.